Sometimes a game comes along that will shock you. You can't figure out why you like it or how it's appealing to you, but it is. Maybe the gameplay is why, or maybe the graphics. It may even be the music. All you know is that it's something with this game that keeps bringing you back to keep playing it. And really, that is all that matters. You're playing the game. That's how I felt when I started Mighty Goose, a game about a goose that travels the galaxy fighting off monsters and aliens. There's something about Mighty Goose that kept me there and kept me overly invested, if I'm honest, the entire time. And I am hoping by the end of this review, we will know what kept me there. Let's get into it. Hello, I'm Mr. Flatface, the man of many faces and even more opinions. And this will be my review of a cute little game called Mighty Goose. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, but let's get straight into the review. Mighty Goose was developed by Blast Mode and MP2 Games, and was then published by Playism and released on June 5th, 2021. Mighty Goose is a run-and-gun 2D side-scroller, and is pretty fast-paced. Mighty Goose on Steam has received just under 500 reviews and is rated a very positive. But we will get into the reviews right before my official verdict. Mighty Goose, as I already said, is a charming side-scroller about the galaxy's most prolific bounty hunter. It has classic Super Nintendo graphics that kind of give the whole game a Galaxy of the Guardians vibe, where it both feels new and nostalgic at the same time. It's refreshing. What is super cool about Mighty Goose is its combat. Though super simple, is actually a ton of fun. There's not much to learn combat-wise, but it feels impactful and full. I personally liked using the shotgun to blast away hordes of enemies in one double-barreled super shot. Another impressive thing about Mighty Goose's combat is the fast-paced run and gun that pairs so nicely with the rage system. As you play through Mighty Goose, you will build your rage meter. Once it's full, you unleash a barrage of bullets at your enemy, leaving them no room to counter or openings for attack. You slaughter them all. There is a reason Mighty Goose is literally the galaxy's best bounty hunter. It's because he will literally hulk out and freak out until he finds his target. He's a rage machine. The targets and enemies in Mighty Goose, though basic, complement the simplicity with overwhelming numbers and technology. You might be fighting a ground slug when all of a sudden a bunch of enemies drop from the sky in crates. Or maybe a bunch of baddies and hovering motorcycles will start to bombard you with their missiles while you traverse the map. You're never bored with the enemies. Even though they might be the same, you're never bored. There's always enough of them to keep you entertained. Now, you don't worry your little pretty goose head. If you got flying baddies, use your plane. Oh, you need to chase down a convoy? Use your one-wheeled motorbike. There is always something to get you around the map to your end goal of finding the Void King. You will be working towards him with all the technologies at your disposal. Well, that is until there isn't a vehicle for you to use. There will be times where you're in a segment where you have to use a vehicle, but then you die and you respawn. When you respawn, you'll be at whatever the checkpoint you last crossed was. Sometimes that checkpoint is nowhere near a vehicle spawn, and you now have to walk this super cool map that was designed for vehicle traversal, but on foot instead. Now, the maps are always traversable without a vehicle. You just feel like you're kind of missing out on the actual intent of the level by walking instead of driving the vehicle. Now, that's not a big deal. It's just kind of a little annoying that they wouldn't put more vehicle spawns. Even Flynn, Crimson Sun, had more vehicle spawns than this. Well, I guess dog spawns in that game. Anyway, let's get back to the good stuff. There are mass amounts of enemies and bosses alike to find and destroy. You will move through the galaxy on the trail of the Void King, taking out his minions and armies along the way. While doing this, you will also save companions that will join you throughout your bounty hunting career. Some will even surprise you that they become your companions. Though, I'm going to give you a little secret. My personal opinion, the first one you get is the best one because he makes sure you always have a machine gun. You never have to use the single shot, so I used him pretty much my entire playthrough. Other than that, there's not much to tell. The music's great, combat's great, graphics are great. It's a fantastic little game that will keep you busy. But we have to see what the other people in the world thought. It's time for Steam Reviews. I want to preface this. These Steam Reviews, once again, it's a short game, so the review time will be low. Don't hate the players. Hit the game if you think it's too short of a playthrough time. Up first is this kind lad with 6.5 hours in game time. And they say, this is an almost perfect game. Being homage to Metal Slug, they ramped down the difficulty compared to Metal Slug, which is great, giving the game a not too hard feel. A perfect intersection where there is very little frustration doing the whole playthrough. Taking away lives based on continuation was a great idea to assist in the translation of Metal Slug 2 for a home release. No lives, no continues, plentiful checkpoints. I finished this in 6.5 hours and felt none of my time was wasted. The game does strive to be similar, but not exactly the same graphics as Metal Slug. And while they do fall short, it is close as one could get with a comparatively smaller budget. This game is exceptionally polished, 9 out of 10. I think I agree with him. The no lives and lots of checkpoints was nice. It made the game feel a lot quicker and a lot faster. And the graphics are what they are. They always remind me of Super Nintendo, which is super nostalgic. Well said, Steam reviewer. I also want to point out that their rankings are not mine, though I do agree it's a good number to start with. Let's see where we end up. Next, with 7.1 hours of recorded playtime, they say, hit fun and hard. Straight to the point with that one. Though they are not wrong. It is fun and it is hard. So, good job. In the interest of full transparency, let's look at some negative reviews. Coming in with a quick 0.3 hours of game time, they say, great game. I like the music, the art, the mood, everything. But I bought it for co-op, and sadly this part of the game is so bad at the beginning I thought it was a joke. It's not really co-op. The second player has little to no power over the game. That feels like an insult. I personally didn't try co-op, as I have no friends. But I'll take your word for it there, Steam reviewer. Also, maybe give it a little bit longer to play. Well, that finishes off the Steam review section of the video. Time for my verdict. I feel the month of September's game reviews have all been short little games that will give you a lot of casual fun while sitting comfortably on your couch while you eat food and hang out with your family and or significant other. And Mighty Goose slides right into this and becomes part of this little group that we've created this month. Though short, I feel like none of my time was wasted, and it being on the Game Pass, I also feel like none of my money was wasted either. It is a fantastic way to experience a game from beginning to end in one evening. You don't even have to think about it, it just lets you play. And that's great. I also grew up on Super Nintendo games, so I immediately resonate with graphics and gameplay like Mighty Goose, as well as the combat. So I may look at this from an angle where maybe you, the viewer, who may be younger than me, cannot. There will become a time in your life where you will also look back at games you played today and wish to recapture that thought and feeling and look. Mighty Goose does that for me, and so did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, a review coming out at the end of the month. So sub to catch that one when it releases. And also let me know in the comments, is there already a game that you always constantly go back to? Another game for me is RuneScape. I constantly go back to RuneScape every year. With all that being said, I'm giving Mighty Goose a 8 out of 10. Mighty Goose is super fun and definitely had me feeling satisfied at the end of the game. Where it fell short for me was the length. I just wanted a few more missions, and maybe that's just the game being so good. But I had to take a point off because that's something I thought the whole time. And it lost points because it's a run and gun game, but I only ever got the machine gun, shotgun, and Tesla cannon. And on a very, very rare occasion, I get the rocket launcher. I think a run and gun bullet hell game, there needs to be ample weapons for the player to enjoy and use, and tons of ways to kill your enemies with said weapons. There's a million weapons on this earth, and millions more to make up. They could have done a little bit more with the weapons. Hell, Kill It With Fire had more weapons in this game. And that's a game about killing spiders. I hope you enjoyed my review of Mighty Goose, and will maybe consider subscribing for more gaming reviews, both new and nostalgic. New game breakdowns and playthroughs, as well as full-length nostalgic reviews. I make long-form scripted content for your viewing pleasure, so a like goes a long way in promoting the channel through the algorithm. Anyway, I've been your host, Mr. Flatface, the man of many faces and even more opinions, and I hope you have had a fantastic day. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.